GCSEs are coming up in less than 3 weeks. I did my GCSEs just under 3 years now and I got all 9s, but there are a lot of things that I would have done differently had I been able to redo them right now. And this is the cheat code that I genuinely wish someone had told me as I was sitting them. So I'm going to tell you. First of all, the specification is your Bible. The specification is a bullet point list of every single thing that you could possibly be tested on for every single subject. Print out your specification, use your specification. Honestly, it is going to save you. Take it, print it out right now. Go get your specification up for whatever subject you're going to be studying, print it off and rag it. Red the things you don't really know, amber the things that you kind of know, green the things that you are absolutely golden. I'm going to be getting 100% on these things. And prioritize those things in red. Put them forward in your revision. Do as many practice questions as you possibly can on those things in red. The specification is, genuinely, I cannot stress this enough, the only things that you can be tested on. If you know everything on the specification, you're going to get a 9. Please, please, please promise me that if you are going to be doing past papers, you're going to do them under exam conditions. You're going to do them timed, you're going to do them all in one go, and you are not going to look at your notes even once. You need to be replicating exam conditions, not only so that you get a really accurate representation of how much you actually know of the subject, but also so that you get the experience of sitting for the length of time of the exam, concentrating for that length of time, and applying your knowledge so that you know that you're not going to blank in the actual exam because you've done the situation before, you know how you react to it, you're not going to get too stressed out. And when you've done a past paper, what do you do next? You go to the mark scheme, but you don't only mark your work, because if you just go, oh yeah, that's right, oh that's wrong, and leave it at that, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. Everything you get right, make sure you got the entire thing right. Make sure you knew every single step. If you were slightly unsure on things, still go back, have a look. Why did that work? Why did you get it correct? You need to be looking at those things. And if you got something wrong, then make sure you're actually identifying what that error was, not just going, oh, the question was wrong, let me redo it. Before you redo it, because redoing it is obviously what you should be doing, you need to identify what was the sort of gap in your knowledge that caused this mistake to happen. Did you misinterpret a certain keyword? Did you misread the question? Did you not understand exactly what it was asking you to do? Did you misapply a certain concept? Try and identify what that critical point was, correct it, and then try and redo it. And once you've been through the mark scheme, go to the examiner's report, because the examiner's report will, in the vast majority of cases, essentially say, the best students did this, the average students did this, a lot of students made this common mistake. It's telling you what you should be doing and what you should not be doing, and you can take those principles, because the questions themselves aren't going to repeat, but there are patterns. The same topics, the same subject areas, the same ideas are going to be tested on year in, year out. If you read examiners' reports, you're going to see similar questions to the ones that are about to come up in your exams, and you're going to know, oh, okay, in this examiner's report, they said they really wanted you to focus in on making sure you defined a certain keyword in a certain way. Oh, great, you know exactly how the examiner wants you to phrase the answer to this question. Bingo, you've got 4 marks. Because you've got less than 3 weeks to go now, don't revise your favourite things. Don't revise the things that you are good at, because if you are good at them, yes, you're going to want to refresh them, but you're going to be refreshing them anyway by doing practice questions, by going through past papers. Focus the time that you have left in terms of content study on the things that you find really, really difficult. Because yes, you're going to really not enjoy starting it. So what I'm going to advise you do, you say, okay, so there's this one topic, for example, I really hate particles in physics, and I'm really struggling on particles in physics, and I've been postponing it and I haven't been revising it. You're going to tell yourself, okay, I'm just going to revise it for 2 minutes. You're going to put a timer on for 2 minutes, and you're just going to force yourself to sit down and revise it for those 2 minutes. I can guarantee that once those 2 minutes are up, you're going to have the motivation, you're going to have the momentum, and you're going to be able to continue revising it. The hardest part is getting started, but once you've done it, even if after those 2 minutes are up, you're thinking, I really hate this and I really don't want to be doing this, just think you'd rather hate it and learn it and actually know the content, rather than be sat in your physics exam seeing question after question of this going over and over and over in the exam, and yet you don't know the answer because you have never revised it. So please don't allow that to happen to yourself. There's a concept called Parkinson's law that I think you really need to understand. And essentially it says that if you give yourself half an hour to do a task, it'll take you half an hour. And if you give yourself 2 hours, it's going to take you 2 hours. That is a very sort of broad and slightly simplified understanding of what the law means. But essentially, if you know that you have got to get through, let's say, 200 flashcards, and you give yourself 4 hours to do it, it's going to take you those 4 hours, because you're going to stretch it out. You might be taking TikTok breaks. You might be going out. If you give yourself 2 hours, you are going to be able to get through it. You might not be able to fully complete it, but you will complete the portion that you do complete in a much quicker period of time than you would if you gave yourself such a long period. So try and underestimate how much time something is going to take you to really force yourself to get it done efficiently. And I'm not saying rush, there is no rushing, but don't over allocate time, because that is just going to make you work inefficiently, and you can't be revising inefficiently because that is going to mean that you work inefficiently under an exam. And you can't be doing that, especially for subjects like English, or history, where things can be really quite knife edge in terms of timing. You want to practice working under pressure, and a great way to do that is to underestimate. Even if you're doing like a practice essay, and let's say in the exam you get 45 minutes to do this essay, give yourself 40 minutes, give yourself 35 minutes, see if you can write a similar quality essay in less time, meaning that in the exam, when you're going to be faced with a bit more stress, a bit more mental block, it's going to be a bit harder for you to get the flow going. You're not going to feel as stressed and time constrained because you practiced under even more restrictive time conditions. But the biggest thing that I just really want you to remember is that you're looking for, in these final few weeks, progress, not perfection. You don't need to know absolutely everything going into the exam. You don't need to have gotten 100% all of the time. You don't need to have even gotten the grade that you want consistently in all of your past papers, because there is an element to which your brain under the exam condition is going to remember more than you think it will. You're going to recall ideas that you might not think you're going to recall. You're going to come up with new ideas. You're going to be able to answer more difficult questions because you're in this situation where your brain is really trying. But in order to be that confident in the exam itself, you don't want to be sort of messing yourself up right before the exam. You don't want to be stood in a line with people who are going to be going, oh my God, I'm so scared for this test. Yeah, I've hardly revised. Oh my God, I don't remember anything. Because you're just going to internalize that. And then you're going to start feeling nervous and worried. And even if you're feeling nervous anyway, that is so normal, that is so natural. What you don't want is people reinforcing that by being stood around you saying, oh my God, we're all going to fail. You're not. You're going to do amazingly. If you can, try and go in first or try and go in last. Just try not to let the build up to the exam, the actual queuing outside the exam hall, to be something that puts you off, because you put in all of the work. The last thing that you want is for anything to fall to you at the last minute. So just trust yourself, and yeah, chat to your friends, but try to stay away from exam talk. And if you know that that's going to be a massive issue for you, literally, I did this. I was first in the queue every single time for every single one of my exams. I was right there, right at the front. So I would go in straight away and I would not talk to anyone, which is slightly sad, but it helped me with the nerves significantly. And I would basically sit there and I would look at the exam paper and I would force myself to be like, smiling, because you look insane if you're sat in an exam room smiling at your exam paper. But it does genuinely release that level of serotonin that actually makes you happier, that makes you calmer. And I found that made me able to sort of jump straight into everything, because I didn't get that sort of rush of nerves of, oh, open your exam paper, oh my God, help. No, it was sort of open your exam paper, okay, I can do this. And then you open it. Genuinely, incredible piece of advice. When they say, open your paper and begin, give yourself like a second, 2 seconds, just count in your head, 1, 2, and then do it. Everyone will have done their sort of panicked flicking open, you'll hear all the paper flicking, and then there'll be a bit of calm, and then you can open it, and you can begin feeling a lot more relaxed. So those are my tips if you are taking GCSEs this year. A massive good luck, and make sure to subscribe for more study tips. If you have any questions about GCSEs, about exams, about studying in general, do let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to respond to them all.